You just don't like her dance moves.
No, I said
that's all she be
and
doing.
that's also, and I think that's why
all
I'm
she
like
be doing is dancing.
And I think that's why I get so upset when you're like, I don't understand what your argument is, because I'm not arguing with you, because that is a situation when I'm like, bro, she proved me wrong. She did it twice. Once Tyler did it twice, there's no hate. No.
So what did she prove you wrong about? That's what I want to get to. That
she is on track to be that Rihanna type person.
Okay, but you already said that she was. You claimed that she was before.
I said that was the goal. I said that was the goal, but I didn't think she was going to do it.
So
I thought there were things that needed to be done, and she's on that path.
You saying that Tyler is Rihanna's comp is not you already saying that?
No, because I thought that there were things that needed to change.
Okay.
But now I think she's on the right track.
She didn't have the Air One smoothie yet.
I got you. Copy.
She's killing shit. She's killing shit.
Copy.
But yes, you were on the Tyler wave before me. I'm not saying you weren't. Is that good? Can we not be ops?
No. It's not even about being on a wave. It's just more about I want you to stand on what you say.
And I did. Did I not just stand on that and say I was wrong?
And I appreciate you for that.
I'm like, bro, I never ran from it, bro. Never. What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Industry Plans Podcast.
What is good? Episode 137.
Back at y'all, man. Feels like we haven't potted just us in a minute. I guess we did it with Paradise last week, but
yeah.
I'm Miles. To my left, we got Osei. To my right, we got Spencer.
Yeah.
Back at y'all, man. How we living?
1 second.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord.
Not cutting that out.
Wow.
Yeah, get ready to go.
Sick.
Oh God, no! I drank my smoothie a little too fast.
Oh God,
I was holding that in.
A lot of phlegm. How are we on this fine Sunday?
I should have just gotten a yerba mate.
Yeah, good energy.
Yeah, you kind of look like the odd man out.
So Spencer, how are you?
Soon to be sponsored by yerba mate.
Is it because I'm dark skinned?
Anyway,
yo,
we're the same. We're the same damn near, bro. You can't even do that. Me and Spencer hung out yesterday. What?
I just see him queuing on your hands. Start looking at him. Really
I think you used a lighter hand skin emoji. To be honest,
I do. I think I do. I definitely do. I was really thinking about the one that you be using. Yeah, I'm gonna use a dark skin prayer hands from now on. And niggas can't tell me nothing, bro.
All I know and all I can contribute to this conversation is I do have different Adobe Premiere presets for both of you.
I'm crying. No, I think it's really funny have you ever seen a light skinned person use the really dark emojis?
Yeah.
And it's really funny, but I like how V's uses the yellow emojis.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're crazy for that.
I always I had to get Osei's permission to post the black hands.
I was gonna
when he did the Netanya thing, because I'm like, hey, this is I'm just a shell here. You know what I mean? I'm just delivering
I'm a vessel
message.
right now.
Yeah, I'm a vessel. I want to deliver your message. Stereo Vision is a black-owned company, right? Empowering black voices. I'm just a vessel here. So we were standing together, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna type it out, but I need you to hit send.
You have to just tell us what to type in that situation. Like, you write this.
Yeah. Here you go, bro.
Nah.
Do you think I should use the yellow ones or the white ones?
This is an interesting conversation.
The white ones.
I feel like
what emoji to use?
Yeah, you should use the white ones.
You should definitely use the
so
white
people
ones.
know it's you.
I feel like the yellow ones make it look like I'm ashamed. When somebody uses the yellow, I'm like, oh, they don't want me to know. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, they're trying to be like for everyone.
For everyone is insane. We need to leave this right now before we get in trouble. Yeah, it's been a busy week, a fine week, you know. Birthday coming up soon. Big 25. My frontal lobe is almost developed. Does it happen immediately?
Yeah, it's instantly.
Like as soon as it, just
boom,
wake up, boom,
yeah,
smarter?
Everything's different.
Okay, are you guys excited to see a more mature version of me?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be nice. I think it's gonna be nice for everyone. You think we're gonna argue less, Osei?
No.
Really?
I don't think you're gonna change.
I'm gonna be calmer. I think I'm gonna be much calmer.
I don't think you're gonna change either.
More zen. You don't guys.
We were trying to have a nice moment last night, and then you turned it into a business meeting. You know what I mean?
No.
You're gonna be the same.
I think I just asked good questions.
You're gonna be the same guy.
I think I just asked good questions.
Yeah, I forgot about that last night. Just catching a vibe, and then I don't even know what happened. So we were talking about work.
Bro, I can't even just kick it. You know?
We were kicking it. That was regular conversation.
Then he tried to sign me.
I didn't try to sign you at all, bro.
He literally had the paperwork ready.
He tried to manage me.
Do that, bro. I was just like, guys, what are we really doing here? What type of conversation are we having? You know, on a Saturday night, of course. That is my vibe.
It was like 2 a.m., bro. It should not have been about management.
I was gonna say I'm done. I might be done going out on Saturdays.
Really?
Saturday nights.
Why?
I think that ruins my weekend.
Really?
Because I do a good job, like wake up early, do something productive work-wise the first couple of hours, Like I normally take like the end of the work week stuff that I didn't finish on Friday, and I'll do that like Saturday morning. And then I've been going to the gym like around like midday Saturday. And then I go out and the rest of my Saturday is just fucked. And nothing gets done. Like nothing ever gets finished like that I was doing. And then my Sunday is always off to a slow start because I went out on Saturday a little bit.
Like that's fair, but there's more to life than, accomplishing your tasks. I thought last night was beautiful. I hadn't had a night out with just some guys in a long time,
Yeah, it was a nice boys night.
I hadn't had the opportunity to drink Douce in years, bro. So I was on the Douce last night drinking beers.
I was like,
bowling.
You were off the Douce. I was like, what is this nigga on right now?
I mean, normally I'm not in a situation where I can be off the dark liquor, but last night I was like, this is perfect. We're at third base. We're surrounded by men. There's a boxing fight on.
It's time for dark liquor.
Yeah,
do you ever drink dark liquor, Jose?
If it's offered.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't really get that vibe from you.
I don't know what kind of vibe you get from me.
This guy.
I think Jose, I don't think I've ever seen you drink dark liquor either. I'm a little frightened of that idea.
He gets aggressive.
Why? I don't know. I just feel like something would awaken inside of you.
Yeah.
There was an era for sure.
The
college era.
You always talk about this era, and I don't think we get to see that Jose. I think you've done a really good job at like locking him in the basement.
No, I think that I saw him pop out a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Had to.
I think there's certain situations when Jose will get a little bit mad. I'm like, oh, okay.
had to pop out. You know what I mean? But no, I think, you know what I'm saying? I think, we talk about this. There's an age difference. You know what I mean? And not that it matters too much, but I do feel like, moving away from the people that I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? I have to come here, be a different person, protect myself in different ways. So
yeah.
I'm not always gonna be on some like, oh, let me just go get fucked up with people I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
that, and that's the smartest thing you said though. You can't just be getting drunk with people that you don't know like that. I think that is I
find LA a lot, maybe it's because I know it less, I find it a lot less safe than back home.
I mean, LA, I think it's just easy to stumble into the wrong thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's very easy to just go a little bit too far and it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to be in this area at this time of day right now.
That's you've experienced that?
I don't go outside. So from stories I've heard from other people, I like to know where I'm going. I keep it very
I guess I've experienced that,
tame.
but like, I don't know. Sometimes it's worth the risk, Like
I did that when I first got here.
Yeah.
That was the first night I went to LMU, those college flyers, like it's a bunch of college parties. So it's me, Sam, Solomon, and our Filipino friend Devin. It's all three of us. So it's me who's never been here. Sam and Solomon are just fresh out of Ethiopia. They obviously, Solomon used to spend time in the US, but he had just came from Ethiopia. And then Devin, who's from like rich area in the Bay.
Yeah.
We see this college flyer and we're like, oh, we're going to go to this party. LMU's on it, everything, da-da-da. We end up in the middle of Compton at a warehouse party. Like just the most out of place looking people you've ever seen in the world. Freshmen in college lost. That was probably the most I was like, oh, I'm not going to play with LA ever again.
That's really
Day
funny.
one, just like shocked. My parents had just left. I was like, my mom would probably be like, what? Why did you? One day left to your own devices.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. Not even on just some safety tip, but like, bro, I think I'm at the point where I'm not going places where I'm not either like, really not invited. You know what I mean? Where I don't know somebody at the door, so I'm getting in early. Yeah. Where I, don't have like a section set up or something. Like, because what kind of night is that, bro?
Oh, you're
what kind of night is that?
So you won't go nowhere you don't have a section no more?
No, more the door thing.
Okay.
The door
makes sense. The door makes sense.
Especially because I'm not pulling up at like 10 to get in somewhere. You know what I mean? And I feel like I have enough connections now where I can move around accordingly. I have something every night of the week. And realistically, you don't even need to be going out that much.
That's interesting. So. If you wanted to, could you go out 7 days in a week?
Yes.
To like decent quality moves?
The only day... Monday would be questionable, but I think there's places that are open every single day that I could pop out to. I don't know if the move would be crazy.
What's the best day of the week to go out?
The best day of the week to go out, probably Thursday or Saturday nights.
That's crazy.
I would say
it's got to be Saturday.
Yeah,
well, we don't know. Well, we don't. Again, Spencer, when was the last time we had a Thursday night?
Last week.
Really? Where do we go Thursday night?
You didn't what?
Social hour, right?
No,
that was Friday.
That was Friday.
We don't do Thursday nights.
Yeah, we don't do because we record.
Oh, right.
Me and Spencer haven't experienced a Thursday night since we were sophomores.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I think we might be missing out on the best night of the week.
I don't believe it.
But we do it for y'all.
Yeah.
We love y'all. we are going to be out. Well, what do we want to start? Are we going to start new music? I want to start new music.
Okay.
Because we already got into a debate, and I guess me and Osei might continue a different argument. So, as you guys know, I think that we're all R&B fans a little bit over here. I think that the last couple of weeks have really had R&B at the forefront of music.
Yeah.
Destin Conrad obviously dropped. Coco Jones dropped albums, both of them. And then we got 2 incredible singles from Mariah the Scientist and Summer Walker. And I think that what's been really dope about R&B lately is that it's now seeming to get more mainstream attention and breaking through on a bigger level. Even if you look at like on TikTok with the Snow Allegra song, In Your Eyes. Yeah. Like I feel like people are in the mood to want to hear that more outside upbeat R&B. Or in the case of Mariah, a little bit more slow, it's like a ballad. It gives you more ballad vibes. What's been you guys' favorite piece of work to drop these last couple of weeks in the R&B space?
So to me, it's not even one that you called out. It's the new Sailor song, Sincerity.
Sincerity is incredible.
I play that constantly.
Sincerity is incredible.
And I think she is another reason why R&B is so exciting right now. I feel like you have a bunch of characters that are like on the verge of something happening. You know what I mean? There's a lot of really good storylines. Like you talk about Summer Walker. That's like the seasoned legend coming back and dropping more music. Mariah the Scientist is somebody that might be able to take like the next step.
SZA's on an arena tour.
SZA's on an arena tour. And then you have like the Destin Conrads and the Sailors who are like really exciting young talent doing new things that like could at any moment drop something really special and fresh. Definitely. You know, and I think that's why the genre as a whole feels really strong right now is there's all these really interesting characters. But Sailor's the most interesting to me. I don't even know why. I think I just love her songwriting a lot. And everything she's dropped has been really good. And I like everything she's doing. I like the weird visuals. Yeah. I like her turning into a cockroach on her album cover. She's like quirky, but like cool. I'm really into that, but I also love the new Summer Walker song.
I didn't get the cockroach thing that Sailor did until I really like thought about the Florida angle a little bit more. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's probably like a really big thing where she's from. She just did the track listing of the album and it's on like the back of a Raid spray can.
Yeah, it's a reference to something. I was reading in the comments. It's like some like book, like childhood book or something.
Oh, yeah, okay. Animorphs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you guys not familiar?
I'm not familiar.
No. Well, I mean, I don't remember like the whole story, but it's literally just like children that turn into animals.
Oh,
so
all right.
I think it's just tying in her whole 2000s aesthetic. To be honest, I think that's probably part of it. I'm sure there's a deeper reason, but
that's interesting. Do you think she's part of the 2000s aesthetic thing?
I think that some of her visuals might tie in, like when she did the visualizer to the Pookie song.
Where she's on the MacBook?
Yeah, on the MacBook, and there's a whole pink room. Like, I mean, there's references for sure.
Yeah. I think that's what's also refreshing about all the R&B we named is that it's not so derivative like we've heard with so much of the R&B previously, or like R&B adjacent stuff, you know, the Tommy Richmonds, the Kid Leroy's, no shade to them, obviously, but like it does feel like everyone who's pulling from that early 2000s, Neptune's, Justin Timberlake sound, it's like, I'm over that. I don't want to hear that anymore. I want to hear something original. When we get into the heavy hitters like we're talking about, while Coco and Destin were very smooth, I'm happy they both dropped projects. I enjoyed them. This summer project is what I'm more excited for than anything else right now.
Yeah, that's the one to look out for.
I think she's about to go on a crazy run. Obviously, the Chris Brown tour I think is going to be insane for her, obviously. And then she's doing like the Apple Music show. The singles are dropping consistently. Heart of a Woman did what it was supposed to do on the back end of the year. It feels like everything is setting up well for this without it being like a super in-your-face rollout. Like it's been like there was a lull period before this new song dropped where I was like, okay, like Summer's got to get to doing something because she's about to start her tour, I think. But yeah, I need that album yesterday.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be really good. I really did like the Destin Conrad album. I didn't get a chance to listen to the Coco Jones album. Yeah, but the Destin Conrad album was dope. That song "Bad Bitches" is so good. Yeah, and it's definitely like different and fun and feels like summer. Yeah. I don't know, early song of the summer contender, maybe. I don't know. I'm really liking it. Yeah. And then there were a couple other songs on there. I can't remember the names, but I really enjoyed.
I mean, he's an example too of why. And I think the R&B space is the best example of this, where songwriters in R&B seem to be able to turn into artists and make that transition really seamlessly because the quality of music that they put out actually has so much depth. Like, I feel like they just understand how to get people to move. With their melodies, they're always really creative. The song structure is always interesting. Like, I think the best in R&B either find out how to make the traditional formula just sound amazing, with their voice doing crazy runs, or they do something a little left of center, which I think Destin has the talent to do a lot.
Yeah.
Get on a little bit of like a wonky type of production, switch up like again the structure of the song, but he's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how he grows.
Party With You is the one that I really like on the Destin album besides Bad Bitches.
Yeah.
That's a great project, but I mean, you guys were kind of talking about the Mariah single before we started. How do you guys feel about it as a song?
I like it. It's not a great song. What? Why you get all excited and shit like that?
I'm just excited to hear your take.
You know, this guy. Yeah, it's cool to me. It's cool to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested in Mariah. I've never been super moved by any of her songs, but I think that she does have potential because she's in my favorite lane of R&B with SZA and Summer Walker. So to be in that world, you clearly have potential, you know?
Look at him just stealing your take.
No, you said that on camera, did you not?
Yeah, earlier. Yeah.
Yo,
sure.
that's him. That's him.
Okay.
That is all him.
Okay.
That's funny.
That's Osei.
Okay.
You got that.
I
You got
appreciate
that.
that.
You got that, bro.
What do you think of the song, Osei?
I'm trying to agree with this nigga.
I really like the song.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's again super strong single that seems to be leading into a project. And it is more of a, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of when Mariah first came out with the project Master, I believe. I liked like the slower songs like Reminder on there. It kind of reminds me of that, right? Because I feel like the last project she did was a little bit more up tempo. She had a song with like K Tronada on there, like a song with Thug. This one feels more like back to her roots, which I really like. Yeah, I don't know. I think Mariah is super interesting, and I put her in that category with SZA and Summer Walker because I think in terms of subject matter, they all make like very similar types of music. You know what I mean? It's like the sad girl, like almost like longing for like a not a relationship, but like love, like longing for love. You know what I mean? Or would you not say that? I see you thinking, so.
I don't think Mariah has the thing that either of them have that makes them interesting. I think that what SZA leans on is she's a one-of-one songwriter.
Okay.
Like, is literally like generational talent songwriter. There's not many like her. She doesn't take outside songs. Like, it is all her pen.
Okay.
She doesn't play about her pen. I think everyone would be in agreement about that. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Summer Walker is a psychopath.
Okay.
Like, I think she's one of the most interesting people in R&B music, and I think her crazy personality bleeds into her music a lot. And that's what makes her stories interesting. That's like what, I don't know, like if you go back to even her first Over It album, it's very like just almost funny the way that she talks about these relationships because it's like, oh, you're really, really toxic, just like outwardly toxic. And I think SZA gets into that a little bit too. With Mariah, I actually think that the Young Thug stuff is interesting because you see it come out a bit more when she's talking about him. But like, I want more of her personality in her music. I think that that's what what I'm missing from her. And I don't know if that's a writing thing where I don't, because it's not vulnerability, because I think she does do the sad thing well. I think she does do the ballad, slower songs well. But when you give me a tempo record, don't just make it feel like a kind of vapid tempo record. Make it feel like something that's going to get me still like interested in what you're saying a bit more.
Do you consider the new Mariah song a tempo record?
No.
Okay, I was going to say.
Not. I think that's why it's strong. I think this is what she does well. This is what she does best. The vulnerability stuff, the sad stuff, you know, I think that that's a good bag for her, but I need more.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree. I mean, I could definitely, I can understand why you wouldn't necessarily find her like interesting, but I feel like both the things you said are things that she possessed. Right?
Yes, I agree with you.
Mariah writes all her music.
Yes.
Like if you look at the credits, like every single song is written by her. And then you're talking about, what else did you say? You said about Summer, that she's crazy. I believe Mariah's crazy.
That's
too.
what I said about all this.
I think that you could see it via the stuff with Young Thug and all the drama that happened when he was locked up.
Yes, I just said, that's what I'm saying. I want more of that personality to bleed into the music. I don't feel I'm getting all of her personality in the songs.
Like lyric-wise and content-wise? Because there was also the song that she had like, what was it, From a Woman, and then Thug had From a Man. Like, there's a whole storytelling in that as well.
Yeah, but I don't think, I like the fucking Thug song more than I like her song. I go back to, is From a Man his one? Yeah. I like his way more. But I don't know if it's a delivery thing or something, but I don't know. I just don't, I haven't had a song that's grabbed me emotionally yet by Mariah, but I do think she has the potential to be there.
That's what it is for me.
It just hasn't happened.
That's what it is for me, is I need a song.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I really like her voice, actually. We were talking about it before. I think she has a nice voice. I really like the tone of her voice. And she kind of checks all the boxes, like you were saying. I just don't think I've had a song grab me yet. And I think once one does, it's probably going to pull me into her catalog and I'm going to find stuff that's already out that I really like. Because I'm not going to sit here and act like I've done a deep dive of all the albums. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's slaps on there. I just think I need a song.
Yeah, I gotta get a song off it. And I would never make it seem like she's not someone who, like, when she drops an album, I'm not gonna listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she deserves the same chance as everyone else to go get a song, go get a record, go have someone find something. And again, this is a great lead single. I think that is the strongest point you made for sure. Like, if you're gonna start your rollout, if you want to make a statement, because I do think that this is the time for her to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that there's gonna be a lot of push behind this because she canceled the tour that she was supposed to go on, right? Who was that with?
What tour?
Remember when? So Thug had just got out and Mariah was supposed to go on tour with somebody, but she ended up canceling her tour and staying back.
Oh, that was she was on tour with Lotto.
Yes.
And someone else.
Yes.
I don't know if I think that tour happened. I think she may have canceled a few dates, but I think it happened.
Yeah. I think that she is going to be, now that Young Thug is out, in the conversation, in the spotlight, just around. They're obviously going to be seen together. They're obviously at basketball games. It feels like there's a real chance for her. And if she delivers on this project, she's going to be able to go do a big run of shows, be in all the appearances, be in all the blogs. People are going to talk about her if she can deliver on this body of work.
I need her to, because I want them to take Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner's spot as like the couple that you can't.
No,
like, get off your
I liked him. I still liked him. I'm not.
I liked him too, but I don't really like that couple together. I don't really like.
I don't like Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that allowed? Am I allowed to say that?
I think you're allowed to say that. I don't think that's a hot take, but I would much rather see King Slime and Mariah.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, Miles, I agree with you. I just think she's a little bit further along than you think, to be honest.
Yeah, but
I feel like you're talking about like all the blogs. Like I do feel like a lot of these blogs and outlets do talk about her, especially when she's with Thug.
Yes, 100%.
You know,
now I want them to talk about just her.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I think they talk about her with Thug in relation to Thug. Just her, just Mariah the Scientist, the superstar. Just her in the same class. Because I don't think she's on the same level as Summer is yet.
Oh no, that's a fact.
But
Bro,
I think I think that with an album she could get there.
Agreed.
Because she's dropped enough bodies of work that, like Spencer said, once you give us the album that's that tier, then people are gonna go back to the other shit and find songs that they like.
I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
We are.
Interesting enough.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not. You just. I
Interestingly
feel like,
enough, we somehow aligned here.
because
Maybe it's because we warmed up earlier and had this conversation. I don't know.
I'm never here to be in your opposition. I just am not gonna like jump out the window and say some shit is really crazy if I'm not feeling it. Like I can't lie and say that like I feel this Burning Blue record crazy, but I can recognize that it's doing well. But I don't think objectively as a music fan, like if we were, because we were in comparison talking about the Summer record and the Mariah record.
Yeah.
I don't personally, to my ears, think there's a real comparison between the two, but I also can acknowledge why one is like the Burning record is just connecting more. The Mariah record.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Heart of a Woman did. I don't really know what this is currently doing, but I do feel like there's a lot of momentum behind Mariah. I'm not saying that she's going to necessarily beat out Summer Walker, but I do think we're going to have to put her in that conversation.
I mean, if she drops an album, a single won't do that.
No,
a single won't do it. She needs more than this.
She's a project for sure.
Before we get off R&B, I do have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really exciting talking about the Sailors, talking about the Destin Conrads, talking about these artists that are like ready to step into their stardom. And I think R&B has a lot of them. So there are any other artists that you guys are checking for that you think could become legitimate stars in R&B this year?
Legitimate stars is, I mean, it depends on what you're saying.
We really need to define what a star is.
I was also going to say
we need a paper definition of what a star is.
Stars. I think who could become a rising star. I don't think who could become a star.
Okay, yeah. I just mean somebody with a hit, doing numbers, having motion, like the new person to watch.
I was going to say, does Q count as R&B?
Yeah, I think Q's there.
Yeah, definitely.
Then yeah, I think that he will for sure, especially when we drop the album, the next body of work.
Yeah, there you go.
For sure.
We should get into that a little bit.
I would say that. Well, let me think of some other people though too.
I'll give you Raven Lenae.
I
think huge jump with Bird's Eye last year. I think she could really be a star this year.
I think she's gonna be the one for sure. I think that the Sabrina Carpenter tour is gonna set her off crazy.
I didn't even know she was opening that.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge for her. She's out of here. Them two. Who else?
I'm gonna just put Mariah back in that conversation.
And I think that's a conversation you belong to.
Yeah.
At the top of that.
You said them too, and it made me think of they. Do you listen to they?
Yo,
I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
I know what you're talking about, but is there anything leading you to that conclusion? They make good music, but like,
I'm just saying, like somebody to watch in R&B that I think could have a hit.
But you said star.
Yeah, they're not. They're a step below everyone else.
Okay.
I'm just spitballing here. I'm trying to put the listener on.
I'm just contributing to the conversation. Coco could have done it.
I'm not the resident A&R. I'm supposed to be getting backpacked through this category.
Coco could have done it, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted a little bit more from the album. Not a bad album at all. It was enjoyable. This girl Nolly, I think she's incredible. I really believe in her music.
What about Cleo Soul?
I don't think that's R&B.
Out of here. Well, that's why I question Q. If she's not R&B,
That's not R&B.
I think it is R&B.
I don't consider it R&B.
What would you consider it?
Soul?
Same thing. Same conversation. It's not the same. It's not the same sound. Like there is a differentiation, but I think soul fits under the R&B umbrella.
But when they categorize R&B on any DSP, they put R&B/soul.
Yes, that's why I'm like, I think she's in the conversation. She's also just way ahead of this. Like Cleo Soul's,
but is she a star? And that's why I'm saying we have to define it. Because when I said that I was surprised she did the Hollywood Bowl, y'all were like, "Yo, you should have been known about Cleo Soul." And then you could name 5 Cleo Soul songs. So like, I want more of a solid definition of what a star is right now.
I think that.
Can you name 5 Mariah the Scientist songs?
Let me see. Heart of a Woman. Oh, sorry.
That's Summer Walker. Look at you. I don't know how big Heart of a Woman was. Heart of a Woman was a smash. Bro.
I confused it with From a Woman. I'm so sorry. But yes, you got me. From a Woman is what I meant. From a Woman, Reminders. Damn, what's the Kate Renata song called? Damn, now it is hard.
Hey, we need to have a truce where there's no more name 5 songs on this podcast because we need to be able to lie and cap. Without the viewer knowing. That's called podcasting.
God damn it. I can literally see them in front of me, but I can't name them. So
wow. You don't even like music.
Oh man.
But Cleo Soul is not a rising star. Cleo Soul's been around for too long. I think if you've been putting out music for over 7 years, you're past being a rising star. You're a known artist in this world.
I mean, the Hollywood Bowl is all you need to see.
Yeah.
If you're doing the Hollywood Bowl, you're a star.
Yeah.
Cleo Soul is a star.
Yes.
I wouldn't say she's a star.
She's a star.
Why? She did the Hollywood Bowl, said Spencer.
Yeah. I don't know if star is the right word. I think she's just she's a star. She's a star. That's the right word. That's the right word. It's just not in the traditional definition.
So now if you do the Hollywood Bowl, you're a star.
To me, yeah.
I disagree with that. That just doesn't feel like the right statement. That does not. I disagree. I disagree. I will not agree with that statement.
If you do the Hollywood Bowl, you're a star, bro.
I disagree with this statement 100%. I think.
No, wait, because if you can sell 18,000 tickets,
can you show me
night?
Can you show me some Hollywood Bowl shows?
If you can get 18,000 people to buy expensive tickets and walk up that big ass hill at the Hollywood Bowl to watch you perform, you are a fucking star. We're talking about people.
My phone just died. Hollywood Bowl performances. Can you just give me some Hollywood Bowl performances? And I'm not open to disagree or to not agreeing with you, but you know.
I mean, the ones that come to top of mind, Joni Mitchell was just there. I saw Anderson .Paak there.
Okay.
I saw Dead and Company there. Let me go on their Instagram though.
You got to be a star. You got to be a star to do the Hollywood Bowl. Osei just doesn't know.
Halsey is coming.
I don't know what.
Cleo Soul. You don't know her body like that.
We already had this conversation and it's on camera, so I'm not going to.
I digress. 100 Oseis versus 1 Cleo Soul. Who wins?
Why wouldn't it be the other way around?
100 Cleo Souls versus 1 Osei.
Why are there 100 versions of me? That's kind of weird.
She's more powerful than
me.
She's a star.
I seen you tweet that you know a man that could defeat 10,000 gorillas.
He just tried to steal Speedy's tweet.
Oh. It wasn't my tweet.
Oh, no, he posted it.
It was a retweet.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I gave Speedy Mormon his credit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Speedy.
Speedy, that was a good one.
I just got to know, are you talking about yourself there?
No, we're talking about God. Bro.
Yeah.
Oh, missed
saw the Christ.
Yeah.
Missed
it.
Over his
missed
head.
it.
Just way over his head.
Yeah.
All right.
See how funny that tweet was? Yeah. It was a good one.
We're late, but we'll do it for 2 seconds. Guys, could 100 Spencers beat 1 gorilla?
Yes.
That's my question.
Undoubtedly.
Yes.
I'm like the prime person you want fighting that gorilla.
I don't think so.
Especially 100 of me's.
I agree.
Yeah.
I put 100 Spencers versus one gorilla.
You know, like the basketball players. You know the basketball player Steven Adams.
Yeah.
I think 100 of him could beat one gorilla.
I think 10 of him could beat one gorilla.
Well,
I think we're giving the gorilla way too much credit.
I think that when people break down the metrics of how strong this animal is and how large this animal is, I don't think. Like, how do you hurt the gorilla?
I think you get 3 people
How do
grabbing
you-
each limb.
But how do you get close enough to grab the limbs? Everyone says that, and that's what really pisses me off. How are you going to grab the gorilla's limb?
Guys,
the gorilla's just going to let you run up on it?
I want to say 2 things. One, we have fuck. I keep saying glorilla. It's a gorilla. We have gorillas in captivity.
Those
That's
gorillas
already
got
enough
shot.
to prove that we can do it. And second, if you got attacked by 100 squirrels, you're losing.
Well, okay. Here's my thing also. Here's my thing also. It would be a different conversation if you said we could have weapons.
Are you losing or winning against 100 squirrels?
Are they rushing me at one time? They win.
It's
100
squirrels. It's the same question.
100 squirrels win. No, that's not
So
true.
I think that's proportional.
Because if we have no weapons, like if there's 100 humans with knives, we could do something.
Yo, why are you doing this? There's no weapons. It's the whole point is with your bare hands.
I know because he's talking about the gorillas we have in captivity.
Well, that was obviously a stupid point we're moving past.
Okay.
I like your squirrel point.
No. They're both very good points.
No,
but you didn't even answer the squirrel one. Did you answer the squirrel one?
No, I want to stay there because the capacity.
Captivity.
The captivity question is stupid because, like Miles said, they have tranquilizer guns that they just shoot them with and they move them. But the squirrel
We
question,
have no guns.
The squirrel question is fire because also I think I'm stronger than a squirrel. Then a gorilla is stronger than me. I think the difference between me and the squirrel is greater than me and the gorilla.
And that is where you are an idiot.
Why,
Spencer?
How much do you think a gorilla could bench press?
Everything.
Not everything.
Everything.
Not
you
everything.
can put all the weights on both sides of the bar.
You think a gorilla could bench press 1,000 pounds?
Yeah.
1,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it could bench press 2,000 pounds?
No.
So we'll call it 1,500. Spencer is probably best bench pressing 150 on a good day.
Yeah.
So it has me 10x'd.
Yes.
What do you think a squirrel could bench press?
But they could bite you. And
A squirrel's not getting more than 3 pounds up.
Why are you acting like we can't bite the gorilla? Gorilla.
How are you gonna bite the gorilla?
Yeah, wait, what are you talking about, bro?
How are you gonna get that close?
Bro, it's the same argument.
You can't get that close to the gorilla.
Yes, you can't. Bro, how's a squirrel getting close to me?
Because it's faster.
Kicking it.
No, it's faster than you. We're not faster than gorillas.
I don't think a squirrel's faster.
I don't think a
I
squirrel's
think a
faster than
squirrel
me.
is definitely
Squirrel's faster than you for sure.
I think a squirrel can climb a fucking tree.
Can a squirrel run a mile?
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Is it faster than you at the mile run?
Max speed.
I don't know. I don't know how fast it is.
The max speed of an eastern gray squirrel is 20 miles an hour. They can run kind of fast.
God,
That's
damn.
what I'm saying, bro.
Oh, shit.
Y'all are, and you're talking about me
but I
having
think-
baseless facts.
I think I could run 20 miles an hour.
I agree.
All right. Either
I think
way.
so too.
Either way.
For me.
I think that it's easier for a squirrel to get in close to us than it is for us to get in close to a gorilla. I think a squirrel is going to bite you and claw at you and do all that shit. We can't bite or claw a gorilla and deliver damage. If you try to bite a gorilla or scratch a gorilla, it's not going to feel anything.
I bet I could deliver damage.
I don't think you could. I think if you did your hardest punch on a gorilla, I think it might laugh at you.
100 of me, bro.
It's punting you across the jungle.
This is so stupid. I love that we have AI now, so we can actually see the renders. You know, when they like tried to do it,
And then it's like the gorilla would pick up this human's dead body and just knock out 10 of you guys.
Guys, you have to approach it with strategy, bro. You got to go for the eyes, bro. You got to go for the eyes.
yeah, like there are weak spots for sure.
Exactly.
I'm with you. I think the man got it.
Speaking about the greatness of animals, the Kentucky Derby was also this weekend.
The Kentucky Derby looked fire.
I have never understood what this was, but then we watched the 2-minute video of the actual race before this, and I've never been more enthralled in my entire life. I think that when I get millions of dollars, maybe I will have to take a trip down to the Kentucky Derby. I just need to know, are there races before the main race?
There has to be qualifiers.
You know, it can't just be one race.
Because I was reading
right?
the comments, bro, and some of them were like, "Oh my god, like I've been following Tranquility like for like 3 years.
Tranquility,
Sovereignty, Citizen Bull, whatever the fuck these horses'
Elite
names are,
Elite
bro.
names.
Bro, it's so funny, and they were like, "Beautiful specimen, been watching for years. Congratulations."
Have you guys seen Secretariat?
No. But I've seen
Really?
BoJack Horseman.
You guys have never seen. It's a really good movie, guys.
I don't care.
That's a classic Sandra Bullock movie.
I don't care.
You never saw. Have you seen The Blind Side?
Yeah.
They're like in the same family.
Bad
Really?
movie.
The Blind Side's a bad movie. Why? That's a real story.
Bad movie.
You tell that nigga's life is bad?
Isn't that
That's
like
a real person's life.
Isn't
you
that
just,
like
you just want white people to save you.
I was gonna
What?
say, isn't that
No.
the poster movie for like the white savior thing?
I don't think so.
I think it kind of is.
No. Yeah, probably.
I don't even think that guy likes him anymore.
That's fair. But that's part of the story.
And they like
It's
low
not,
key.
they didn't show that.
He made it to the NFL.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Just because he made it to the NFL means everything they did was right.
I didn't say everything they did was right, but is his life okay?
Bro, I have not kept up with whatever his name is.
Michael Orr?
Don't know.
He retired a couple of years ago. Shout out you.
Don't know him.
So is the Kentucky Derby the most electric 2 minutes in all of sports?
Ooh, probably. What about like swimming?
What?
Like during the Olympics? Like when Michael Phelps was doing his thing?
Bro, what the fuck are you getting on these mics to say today?
You're saying that's not fire?
Are you here?
You just be saying
Are
anything,
you here
bro.
with us?
You ever seen a Michael
Are you
Phelps
here
race?
with
Have you
us?
seen a Michael Phelps race?
It
I know
seemed like you like looked for like the worst possible answer and just like threw out there. How about swimming?
Olympic swimming.
Oh,
All right.
I'm sure it's
all
more than
all
2 minutes, too.
No.
Yeah.
I'm on this
Ain't wrong.
podcast. I'm on this podcast constantly hating on swimmers.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You be sleeping on the whole entire sport.
Are you
I
a
really
strong
did
swimmer?
that.
I'm a decent swimmer, but I can't lie. When I went to summer camp for the first time, I got intermediate and all my friends got advanced, so I wasn't allowed to swim past the docks with them. So I think that's always kind of like been
Okay.
partially on my mind.
See, I was really young Michael Phelps in the pool, so.
Can I read you guys the names of the horses that participated?
Yes.
Because I really like these names. Citizen Bull, Neoquios, Final Gambit, American Promise, Admire Daytona, Luxor Cafe.
I thought they wanted American Promise to win.
Journalism. Why are we naming the horse Journalism? That's funny.
That's funny.
Burnham Square, Flying Mohawk, East Avenue, Publisher, Tistastic,
His tastic.
Render Judgment, Coal Battle, Sandman, Sovereignty in the Winner,
There's so many names.
Chunk of Gold, Owen Almighty, and Beza.
Beza. Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite there?
No. Publisher. That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, would you guys ever go to the Kentucky Derby? Deadass.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not done with my naming segment.
Oh, what else?
What was your favorite name?
American Promise.
Okay, now if you guys, bought a horse and enlisted a jockey to race for you, what would you name your Kentucky Derby horse?
I would never.
First place.
You would never?
It's animal cruelty, I think.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
But if you didn't care about animal cruelty, what would you name your horse?
But I do.
But if you didn't, all right. What if it wasn't animal cruelty?
Okay.
All right. What would you name your horse?
Stereo
Oh,
Vision
say.
Blue.
You would definitely name the horse after yourself.
Burning Blue.
Fuck.
I feel
damn
like
it. Mariah. I named the horse Mariah.
you gotta just name them after like rappers.
Oh my God.
You know what I
And
mean?
Busta Rhymes.
El Snapo.
E40.
I think I would name my horse Almighty Suspect.
Oh my God.
It's a great name.
I think
Frosty the Snowman.
that's a good one. Spencer, I think I could see you at the Kentucky Derby.
Because I'm white.
You know? Like
Yeah,
the Churchill
maybe.
Downs video.
Maybe.
That would be us at the Kentucky Derby. It's like, I think I could be Drewski. You could be Jack Harlow. You could be like Drake. That'll be like the whole little thing. We got what?
I don't want to be Drake.
You don't want to be Drake?
No.
You want to be Drewski?
No good options.
I get to be Jack. That's the only thing that's
You know
set
what
in
I'm
stone.
saying? Yeah.
I've been to a horse race.
Really?
Preakness in Maryland.
It checks out. I feel like that's what they do in Virginia.
I could see you.
It
going
was
to a
actually in
horse race.
Maryland, so
Oh, my bad.
I literally just said that.
My fault.
Damn.
So.
This guy doesn't listen to you.
I don't know. My girlfriend asked me, she's like, I'd love to go like to a horse race or like something random like that, like a random sporting event. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go. I don't know. It does feel for some reason inherently wrong and like a little racist, like horse racing.
It does feel racist.
And I'm with you where it's like we're making these horses run for us. I don't know. It does. I don't know if I feel all the way good about it.
The horse race feels racist.
Can I ask you a question now, just totally off topic?
Yeah.
Is it every girlfriend? Who's more spontaneous, you or Caden?
More spontaneous. That's a good question. Maybe her.
I just wonder, like, does every girl, like, is that part of like the girlfriend handbook that you get it that you always have to be like, let's just do something random. Let's just do something fun, you know?
Yeah.
I just want to do something random.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever been to the rodeo?
What does that mean, bro?
Yeah.
I'll be losing my mind at these type of questions. Like, you know, like, let's just do something crazy. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, do
Yeah,
something crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I'm outside of this conversation at the current moment, but I do feel like that should be annoying, bro.
Just random questions, bro.
Like random questions, random. Oh, like I don't want to just stay in here. Let's go do something.
Fam.
It's like, bro, bro. Like I gotta make some money,
bro. Long day at work, long ass day at work. So much thinking at work, mad thinking at work, bro. Thinking all day. Just surprise me. Oh, what?
Let's
Just
go
tell
out.
me what you want.
Let's go out.
I love my queen though. I just had to ask if that
Same.
was something else. You love your queen?
Same.
I know you love your queen.
Yeah, for sure. I'm taking.
I'll say there's a
horse
couple
race.
queens.
I love
Who's your
my-
favorite queen right now?
I'll bleep it out. You can tell us.
No.
I can't. We're not doing it. We can't do that.
Oh God.
Was
Was
Caribou feeling silly today?
Ooh, I almost went one way, but I gotta go another, bro. Speaking about queens, Bill Belichick found his queen.
Ah.
Bill
They look
found his
happy.
queen.
Hey, let's clap it up for that.
And that's what I want to take.
True love.
Now, if you haven't seen it, my young bull, because he is still a young bull, Bill Belichick has been going around in the news because he's 71 years old dating a 24-year-old.
Yep.
I am pro Bill Belichick and his decision making, and here's why. We're on these mics talking shit about the Jalen Green and Drea situation, and being like, "Oh my God, like it's weird that this older woman is like making plays on this young up and coming NFL player." Like she knows better than him, basically. Bill's 71 years old, bro. Like I think this nigga has made millions of dollars, achieved the pinnacle of success in the NFL, and has now just got a fat new multi-million-dollar, multi-year contract to coach UNC football.
I thought that was going a different way. Continue.
No. Let Bill do what he wants. I'm pro Bill being outside. He ain't hurting nobody.
That's the second time that's happened.
He ain't doing nothing wrong. Is Bill Belichick causing any harm to anybody?
This is dicey because I feel you, but then you have to look at it through the lens of Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, you know what?
Why?
Thank you for saying that because I thought I was gonna have to be the one to say it.
Yeah, because we got up here and said how weird it was for Shannon Sharp to be fucking this 19-year-old when he's 50-something. That's not that different, except the age gap is bigger, and I bet they do all the same freaky shit that was pissing you off, Bill and his queen.
What pissed me off about Shannon is how he would talk about it on camera every week. Bill ain't doing nothing. Bill ain't bothering nobody. I don't hear about what's going on with Bill Belichick like privately.
Yeah.
If it were up to him, this nigga's not talking about nothing. He ain't saying nothing. All he is like, we've always known Bill Belichick as this grumpy, angry old man.
Yeah.
And I think for the first time in the entire time in my whole life that I've seen Bill Belichick, I've seen this nigga smile, make jokes, laugh. What's the problem here? Shannon Sharp was just being horny all the time on camera, literally 24/7, and I was like, you're doing a lot
But
right now.
take that out of it and just think about the action itself of Shannon Sharp and the OnlyFans model that I think we got on here and said was weird and creepy and disgusting. Why are you talking to a 19-year-old girl? You're an old man. Like,
you know what? And I think that my problem with that was that the nature of that relationship felt so much more like just about like the sexual aspect of it.
yeah.
Whereas I'm like, it looks like Bill just has someone he's hanging out with.
I agree with Spencer, but I just feel like I'm on the wrong side if I say that. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that this is a weird relationship in general. I don't think people that are that old should be dating someone that young.
I agree. I agree
So
with that.
I'm against it.
I think it also just feels like, I think what also is throwing my perception off of this is like the power dynamic seems like it's in her favor.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't feel like she's in any position. I think what's interesting about this is you don't know the background of this lady. Because if she's in a situation where she comes from money, doesn't need Bill Belichick's money, and is really just obviously trying to
You think she loves him?
no.
Didn't she buy 8 properties in his name? Didn't
$8
we discuss that before?
$8 million worth of properties in his name. In her name. In her name.
So $8 million
since they started dating.
of his money.
I don't know if it's his money.
Why couldn't he say where they met?
Because that's private information. I think that when you're a celebrity and you give so much,
Yeah.
to the public at all times. It's nice to have some things just for yourself.
She already said it though.
Huh.
That was what the news article claimed, is that she had already spoken about them meeting on an airplane.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. Go read the story. We control our narrative here. That's how we do it in the Belichick household.
She's like his new publicist, and she's mad they didn't read the press briefing.
Well, niggas are saying that this is his caretaker.
Oh God,
Bill is senile.
Oh,
because I'm not gonna lie, Bill be looking out of it. If you look at Bill in some of these interviews, Bill looks like he is on drugs. That nigga look like he just hit the bong or something. Bill is high.
So do you think it's okay? Like, you say you don't think she loves him.
Yeah.
So you think she's here to what? Climb the social ladder, to get money, to set herself up for when he inevitably passes and she's still in her prime?
Probably.
Yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're fine with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Bill Belichick is also benefiting from this relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
probably. Someone to talk to, someone to hang out with. I'm sure that he's doing his thing in the other areas of life.
But in the situation of Shannon Sharp paying $25K per cheek, that was also a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah,
for both of them.
Yeah,
and they both knew what they were giving and what they were going to be taking, and they both agreed to the terms. And she was of legal age, and the age gap was even smaller than this one.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think Bill threatened to choke this girl. I don't think what was Shannon's line, or what was the line that he had her say? I want to have your black babies. I want you to have my black babies or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't think there was all those weird racial. This is like an aggressive type relationship things.
Miles, you think Bill's still fucking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that's the benefit that he's getting from the relationship right now.
Pretty old.
Yeah.
You think how? At what age do you hope to be done fucking?
Why would I hope to be done fucking?
I don't know.
Why do you hope to be done fucking?
I mean, I think if I make it to like 90, that's like, oh, you did it.
But why? But
why not 100?
Why not just till the end?
Till the end?
Why would you not? If you can
go out.
I don't want to die like that. You know what I mean? But like,
go out with a bang.
I would hope, because my mindset is like, I want to be in good health, moving around.
Yeah,
I would hope. Till the end, like obviously you're gonna get sick, whatever, but at least be able to like walk around, like have most bodily functions. All right, now here's my question. Here's my final question though. Do you think this is gonna affect Bill's ability to coach football?
Where does he coach football now?
UNC.
Oh,
he got a crazy contract.
It's time to hang it up.
Yeah, he should hang it up.
I can't respect my coach if you're getting played by a girl who is of the same age as me, damn near.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm looking at you the same. Why is she at practice?
She's at practice.
She be walking around the field, bro. She's like involved. She be there.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, it's a bad look. It's a bad look for Bill. Bill should hang it up.
Is she trying to be a coach?
Maybe that's her goal. If that's her end goal, if her end goal is to make it to the NFL,
she just needed a mentor.
She's gonna be coaching the Patriots in 5 years, and that was all she really wanted out of all of this. Speaking of drama with women, Lil Yachty and Karrahbooo are in the news again.
Yep.
I don't know how to feel about this anymore, because I'm kind of just like, I would like for both of them to move on and just be able to continue on with their situations. And obviously, she now has come out and said that she's being held hostage or whatever. I don't know what's true and what's not. I just am like, can we get this over with?
Feels like it's a pretty simple situation.
You know, that's why I'm like,
it feels like she signed a deal to him. They fell out. And now he's like, well, you need to recoup. That's pretty much what all labels do. They're just dramatizing it and making it about who's the worst person and playing to the public, playing to the public and making it seem like it's more dramatic than it is. But that's really as simple as it gets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's layers to it. There's layers.
What other layers?
I mean, it's like, I'm sure the thing is that she doesn't want to put more money in his pocket. So she doesn't want to drop, because if she dropped music, she could get out of her deal. But by dropping that music, by dropping Fire, that's also putting money in his pocket.
And maybe they're not even letting her.
Why would they not let her?
Because he's holding her hostage.
But that part doesn't make sense.
Why? Because I think this situation and this fallout has been super messy. And I think we've speculated there might have been an existing relationship. We know that she was around before she was rapping.
But there's no negative to letting her drop. But yeah, I don't know.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
If
I
Yachty
see what
feels
you're
the
saying.
kind of way, which we clearly know he does because of his birthday rant crash out and the multiple videos he's posting on social media, maybe he is being really immature and being like, fuck this girl. I have her signed. She needs to recoup, but I'm also not going to approve any of the shit that she wants to drop because fuck this girl.
I would also say, like, from that last part that you said, like, I think a lot of labels do that where they like hold music and wait until there's the right body of work or the right single or whatever. You can always hide behind that veil. It's like, hey, the music's not really ready. It's not up to par. Why would we drop this?
I mean, I want more Karrahbooo music. And I think like it is kind of like, yo, where is she? Why hasn't she dropped? Where's the tape? Like she's been hot. She had her moment. Now she's like losing momentum. She's been able to do features, you know, that I think we really liked. It does seem like there's something being held up. And I would really like the music. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think like, no matter how big that deal is, I think Boat needs to let her out. To be honest.
I agree.
I think she's so young and talented. And it's like, why are we going to waste her career here over some petty shit or over some money when you're doing just fine? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like at some point you need to like be bigger than like a business. You know what I mean? And say, okay, I'm going to let this woman go make her own music.
It's also it's not necessarily a sound business decision if you know that the person doesn't want to work with you anymore.
Facts.
So you're not really going to make that money back ever.
Yeah.
We need new Karrahbooo music. We need the tape. We need all the songs. I think she's going to be able to drop. I think that it's just about having certain types of conversation. It feels like there needs to be like I don't know, because like, are you the type of person, like if you were to have a serious fallout with somebody that you're just going to be like, fuck you forever?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there just needs to be a real conversation there where it's like, hey, can we just dead this and move on? And like actually get to the business? I don't know. Do you feel like that's even possible at this point? Do you get those vibes or no?
Nah. It feels like it might be over between them two for a while. They need their space and distance.
But they've had space and distance for a long time.
They've been clearly interacting because there have been everything she says on Twitter makes it seem like they had just talked recently.
Really? I don't get that at all. I feel like it's like been like she's had no contact with anybody.
Nah, she literally went on Twitter saying like someone was like, he wants you back, Kara, and she was like, yeah, he already asked. Like, you know,
that could have been a long time ago.
Nah, but this whole thing hasn't been that long of a period of time.
I guess, yeah. When did it happen? Like probably like what, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't in January. It was before January.
It was his birthday was when it really went public.
Yeah.
So I don't remember when that was.
I don't have Lil Yachty's birthday memorized. Okay. The most interesting music topic though that I want to get into is this Russ tweet. Talking about Spotify streams and how it kind of has created this weird energy in the marketplace and with fans. Like, why are fans able to be talking about how much an album is streaming? Why is that information so publicly available?
Let me read the tweet for everyone that did not hear it or read it. This is Russ on Twitter, and he says, Spotify should remove the public display of listener counts and streams. It's a catalyst for unhealthy comparisons. It creates misleading metrics like monthly listeners and incentivizes people to cheat so they can inflate the perception of popularity. Hiding the numbers would reduce the pressure to compete on inauthentic metrics and encourage a focus on the music itself. Look at Apple Music. There are zero combos about how music is performing on there or if streams are fake because you don't know. LMAO, as it should be. It's nobody's business how the music is performing outside the artist and their team. We live in this weird time where everyone feels entitled to know everybody's business because of social media. I get it though. From Spotify's perspective, having the numbers public makes it a sport, which in turn drives engagement, et cetera, et cetera.
Like, I get it from...
I'm going to clap it up for that. I think that's an incredible take. I think Russ is always... You can say whatever you want about the music, but I do think he's always been like a powerful voice for independent artists, and he's proposed some real systematic changes in the industry that I think would help. And I think this is a great take.
There's a fun way to approach this because, like, yes, Russ is right.
Yeah.
We know that. But from a business angle, Spotify is also doing the right thing. So It's like, is there a way to marry those 2 points? Like, is there a way that Spotify, because Spotify obviously is established as a company, it's doing well. I don't think if Spotify removed its monthly listeners and all those statistics, like it would tank its business model, you know? Like they could still keep it pushing. So Is there what would incentivize Spotify to do something like that?
I don't really think there's much of an incentive for them.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's like we're kind of just like, it's a great point, but like
I think maybe
the game is fucked up.
Yeah, and it's showing why and who's to blame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it is Spotify.
Yeah.
Profiting off this that is, causing all these comparisons like he's saying and making people buy streams and inflate the numbers. And I think it's also led to like how much we care about album sales right now, which I don't think should matter at all. I think it's weird how the public like is this is art. This is not sports.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Well, but then my pushback would be also though, this did exist earlier. I think the first time that I could really point to this was 50 Cent and Kanye.
Yeah.
When they were competing for who's going to go number one, who's going to sell more.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I've seen it really be like a conversation. But I don't know, because I do love the idea of music just being judged off the quality.
Yeah.
And I think that would big up so many artists like the McGee's of the world, where it's like all you have for reference, or even like a Cleo Soul. Because now all you have for reference to understand how big they are as artists is their live shows. Yeah. Which are their real friends. They're controlling the narratives. They're able to show how they're presented. Like it feels like you'd be putting more control back in the artist's hands. But then again, looking at it from the business perspective is why would any of the DSPs ever want that?
Yeah, well, I mean, because they would like realize that the artist is what's driving this whole business. And I think the art gets better if this is removed.
But they don't care about the art getting better. They just care about more people using their platform.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out like, because I think we all understand that everything that Russ is saying is true. I think that niggas have kind of been saying this for years, but how do we actually turn this sentiment into a real tangible change within the industry? Or is it just something that we're going to continue to speak about and say, if they did this, idealistically, but there's no actual change that we can make?
I don't know if they are the root of the problem, but I completely blame the consumer. I'm not going to lie.
I think DSPs are the root of the problem.
Why do you blame the consumer?
Because the consumer has gamified everything. Like, it's like, all right, bro, like monthly listeners have always been a thing, but now all of a sudden, like we're pitting artists against each other for how many monthly listeners they have. Same thing that's happening in sports betting. You can't even enjoy the sport anymore because you want such and such to score 21 points. Otherwise, you don't hit your parlay.
But that's playing into human nature. And that's just what we're going to do automatically. Like, I think that giving us a platform to have a game and abusing that, because it's like the same way that I wouldn't blame the consumer, I'd blame the sports betting companies, is like they don't care about gambling addiction and all that stuff. They're just going to make it something that's going to like, it's going to make money. It doesn't matter the negative effects that it has on these communities, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's the people who are coming up with these platforms that encourage this competition. I don't think that you can blame people for being people.
But do you think Spotify did anything to push the monthly listeners thing and be like, hey, this artist has more monthly listeners, so they're better?
I think that it would be part of the Spotify business model, yes, to be like, if we have these statistics readily available on the screen, there's going to be a sense of competition.
I think
and that's why I care about the artist first. That is the most important thing to me. That's the whole reason why I do this. But then I also am interested and a fan of music, of business. And that does feel like a really innovative business strategy for a DSP.
I think they may have been trying to encourage people to listen to an artist. It's like, hey, this artist has X amount of monthly listeners. Like, this is maybe someone you're interested in. Because that's what Spotify was about. Was it about the platform, at least its ethos, was about helping you discover new artists with all their playlisting and radio and all this different stuff. I think that the monthly listeners thing was a part of that. Yeah. And I'm not saying, maybe you might be right, but I don't think in its essence it's a bad thing. I think the consumer turned it into a bad thing.
I think that I think that the thing is that it's playing on a lot of negative, again, human characteristics. Because I think a big thing with Spotify at its inception was artist discovery, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they're like, if you have monthly listeners, then when someone stumbles upon an artist with low monthly listeners, because we're humans, we're going to feel cool because we found something early. And we're going to get to put people on. And it's going to be like a sense of pride. It's like, oh my God, look at this gem I just found. Yeah. You know, and it's a way to actually have that in a way that you can prove to people that you were on this early. Yeah. Before that, you could never really be like, oh, I was on before this person blew up. Really, I feel like it'd be harder to prove that. Now it's like, I have real numbers to back it up. It's just, I feel like Spotify as a business, and that's why they're so successful, obviously, it really understands the marketplace and the consumer. Yeah. And I feel like it's like not, it's using it to the artist disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not. I feel you because I also think Spotify took a lot of cues from Facebook when it started, and I think it kind of got a lot of its moments from being like the first like social streamer and really encouraging like a social media element into listening to music because it was the first time you could like go to your friends' like music page and like see their playlist and share playlists and do collaborative playlists. And I think the interface is kind of built around that too, because you can see followers on profiles of listeners, just like you can see metrics like monthly listeners and streams. So yes, it makes sense. And yes, I think about this, and it's one of the reasons I like Spotify better, you know, is because I do like looking at the monthly listeners. Yeah. But I kind of like your take about it being the consumers, because it is kind of our fault for, like you said, wanting to like be like, oh, I found him at 20,000 monthly listeners. Like this is my trophy. You know what I mean? Like, why are we looking for trophies? Why are we thinking about this like it's competition when it's art? So I do think it does probably come back to like how the consumer is using these numbers. You know, like I'm seeing all the tweets, like when Doechii was catching shit on the internet for like 3 weeks straight. The number one tweet I kept seeing was her monthly listeners compared to Playboi Carti's. And it was all the Cardi people just being like, yo, this is fucking bots. You know what I mean? There's no way more people are listening than Doechii than Cardi, you know? And I don't think that's really a healthy conversation to have. And I don't think it's a good way to look at art.
But do you think that that's just who humans are instinctively? Like, I don't think you could blame I don't think that's something that you could control with humans. So I can't really blame them for that.
I mean, I think you could work on it. I think I think that's the value of the Russ tweet, is like calling it out and trying to, you know, figure out ways to be better in your own life.
And I guess I'm interested too, because I'm not really part of the problem.
You don't think?
I use Apple Music. I never really think about, like, I don't really, like, my brain doesn't really go there when it's like, how many streams does this song have, how many monthly listeners?
Yes, it fucking does, bro. I've heard
when I'm in an argument,
you had me and then you lost me, because I also have Apple Music and I do feel like the platform doesn't show streams. But then you lost me because Spencer's right, bro. You do talk about monthly listeners a lot.
Well, we have to get in an argument, but I'm saying, like, unless that's like ammo that I'm trying to use for this, I'm just like, that's not like at the forefront of my mind.
But you're saying you don't think about it.
Like, I don't know niggas' monthly listeners. I don't know how well a song is doing unless I see like a tweet from like the Billboard or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not really a stat I'm checking for.
Yeah, and I think we need to be better too, because this is also just like another reminder that these numbers can be fabricated really easily. So I think it's lazy arguments for us to use monthly listeners and Spotify streams to quantify things. No,
a bit.
Bro, you know how easily that shit can be faked. You just told me how a Billboard top 10 came to be.
It 100%
from 200 grand. You literally just told me that.
Well,
so
and that's where,
and that's
but
fake.
that's why but it can be explained. It can be manufactured, but it can be explained, and it's not as sinister as people make it out to be. And that's what I'm learning a bit. Now, the most sinister thing that you could do is stream farming. Yeah. I think that if you're stream farming, that is terrible, the worst thing ever. But I also think that if you really want to get into who's actually stream farming, you could literally see it if you check people's where
their listeners are.
Yeah, where their listeners are.
Yeah.
That's easy, right? But the thing that I was talking to you about, and I think a lot of different places do this, is when they see something already happening. Me and you literally talked about the same thing. When there are these trends on TikTok that are using a part of a song that is already really good and is already something that when you're making a song, when you're putting time in and actually like trying to create this piece of art, you're like, this is the hook. Mm-hmm. This is the catchy part. This is what is going to get people. There is an actual goal when the artist is putting together this song, right? Mm-hmm. And then when the goal of that song actually works, and now people in the world are putting out a trend to it, and there's a chance for this to actually be a thing, then all these big corporations do is just put more fuel behind that fire, in that they want more people to see it. So they're going to advertise it more. But it's up to society for it to take. You know what I mean? People have to want to do the dance.
Yeah.
People have to actually like the song. People have to actually be moved by that part of the song. And you also have to pinpoint where in society are you pushing it. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I mean, I agree. And maybe that was a poor example, but we know that you can just straight up buy streams. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, like, I think what I'm saying is, like, we should be better when we're talking about how do you define a star. You know, I don't think we should be using Spotify monthly listeners. as a metric.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think we should look at concert sales.
Yes,
I think we
agree
should
with
look
that.
at hard tickets sold. Like I think that is still the best metric to quantify success. And I think that's like how we should talk about stars.
Brother, that's how even the conversation within A&R has shifted to that. It's no longer about streams. Streams don't matter. Because again, like you said, we all know that that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's literally about who's selling tickets, who's moving product, who's doing that.
And so to bring it full circle, Cleo Sol is a star because she sold out the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I think that is a great way to measure someone's success and to use like real stats and arguments.
Yes, but I also think too that if you go look at Cleo Sol's Spotify, that also reflects the streams of a star across multiple songs. And I think it's kind of unexpected and slept on and almost speaks to the sheer amount of people that are listening to her music consistently, even though she doesn't have a traditional hit record.
Okay.
Like I think that there's a way that you could also benefit it for the less publicized artist, you know? But yeah, I think that everything that Russ said is true.
Yeah.
I think it would be beneficial to not see that. I just don't know what we're gonna do about it.
And I mean, there's just better metrics. You know what I mean? Like overall units sold.
Yeah.
When you factor in all the DSPs, because Spotify seems to be where you can play the most games and fabricate the most shit. You know, I think that's a great measurement. Well, if you have a plaque on your wall, that song probably did pretty well. Yes. You know what I mean? That is like a real physical thing. And so I do want to talk about that because our brother Jose got his first plaque.
Yeah. Shout out. Woo!
Yeah. Hey, what did that feel like? Well, first tell the people what you got your plaque for, what you did and how it felt. Yeah, your moment. Your ISO Jose.
You feel me? No, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I got a plaque recently. And I got a plaque for a top 50 platinum record from Real Boston Richie.
Big Richie.
Called Help Me.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was a cool moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What else do you want to know?
I want to know how you helped make that record platinum.
I want to know how you picked where in your room you were going to hang it up.
It's a pretty big plaque. So
you know what I'm saying?
I only had space in one part of the wall.
Niggas want to talk about wall art. That's real wall art.
Bro, I was like, why is that not in the back of your stream setup?
Nah.
It literally can't be because the mirrors are there.
Yeah, and it's just like, this is like gonna be one of many. So like you don't want to like have that one just like front and center. You know, I feel like this is like you want to act like you've been here before.
Yeah, I feel
this is calm for him. This is regular for him. I'm gonna just keep this one tucked.
No, appreciate that. But yeah, no, it's cool to get a plaque. I think it's just an acknowledgement of hard work. I feel like he's definitely going through it right now, but I feel like Real Boston Richie like has had his own ups and downs in the industry. So receiving one for this record was dope because it signaled a change. It signaled a turning point in his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think even like him being on the Glorilla tour and all that, like we were talking about like, Cleo Sol doing the Hollywood Bowl and like monthly listeners and all that. I think there's certain things that you can achieve, like a record going platinum or like being on a crazy artist tour and like having like seeing videos of fans like screaming your record that like signal that something's real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Benchmarks, bro. Because I was gonna say even like tying it into the monthly listeners argument and all that stuff. Like, while competition, all that shit, numbers and all that isn't like the greatest thing for like your mental and all that, I think it is dope when you can stamp things in your career. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yo, I'm good at what I do, and it's not me telling you that I'm just good at what I do. There's actual proof that I've done this, affected change in this person's career, and this is undeniable.
Yeah.
Now that you have that platinum record, no one could take that away from you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm literally stamped, and here's the proof of concept.
Yeah.
Here is everything that I've done beginning to end. Here's where I took this artist from. Like, obviously, talent, all the stuff goes into that, like his hard work, like all of that, but you were really a part of the team that put this together and changed his career.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I can get into it a little bit more about like how, not everything, obviously, but I think it's more just like, again, he was in a weird position. Like when we first started working with him, when he first got signed, because he had those crazy videos going around, and I feel like with him, it was always about, he always had a fan base, and it was more about positioning and like repositioning his narrative, right? I feel like he came up off a super street fan base that he got isolated from. but he always had like a very strong women fan base that may have been in the minority of his overall fan base, but was always like riding for him. And I could see that on the streaming side, but you could especially see that on TikTok. Because TikTok, it was like, yeah, you definitely see like males using his sound or whatever, but like it was an overwhelming like female fan base like creating videos to his music. So I feel like just like repositioning him in that, in terms of like the records that we were putting, like as a team that we were putting out, and also just like the campaigns we were running and all that, I think that was really, I think I could literally see like things changing for him narrative wise because of that.
Yeah.
And even like getting on Glorilla's tour, you know what I mean? Like that is a completely different audience than he had before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or at least it was an audience that was small, that was grown through like, you know, different marketing campaigns.
Yeah, so how do you identify that early? Because you're saying the statistics still skew heavily men.
Yeah.
But you're saying you identified that like the super fans, the ones that were buying merch and creating their own UGC content, were mostly women. So like how did you make that discovery?
Yeah, so I feel like this is interesting, and this might be where digital and like A&R are even similar, because at some point you just kind of look away from numbers and look at what you're seeing.
Yeah.
You know, like I think like, again, like especially when I went on TikTok and I like looked under any of the music we dropped, I was like, all right, like it's very clearly like, let's see how in depth I want to go into this, but it's very clearly like there was very clearly like a young, like black female fan base that was from the South. Like literally, it was just like, and then you look at all the records that come from like a Moneybagg Yo or Lil Durk and like all of that, and you're like, oh, this is the same type of person. You feel what I'm saying? So the marketing is similar.
I think it's about being an agent of change. So, like you said, surface level, there's all of this. Men are listening to it. You kind of know the basic Florida pain rap audience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you dove in though and said, there's other people who are also super fans, but maybe who's not obvious. And how do we turn them up and make them just as prominent as the other people? So then you have a wave of now multiple different, I feel like, demographics of people rushing to this song, posting to this song, to where it becomes now mainstream and everybody's posting to this song and it's a hit record.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just about identifying the little things and again, throwing more like just more time, more money, more energy, more everything on it when you have a spark.
Yeah, it feels weird. Like even, I think I like the way you said it because it feels weird saying the details. You have to go in and identify who the potential fans are that are going to be engaged.
Yes.
Rather than focus on like, I think focusing on the majority is what a lot of people do. And I feel like the way that I work is that I will definitely like look at pockets of people that are like the super fans.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And engage them. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to stream, buy tickets, buy merch, all that. And they're really going to propel an artist's career.
And I think that that's an interesting tie-in too, that like I have tried to implement with my approach to A&R and just like making music as well. It's like, who do you want to hear this? What do you want this fan base to look like? And how can I make the music sound like something that would satisfy them without being derivative?
Yeah.
Does that kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Same thing.
But I think you did it with a hit record. It worked.
So once you identify that you have this insight that you really feel like empowering younger black women in the South is going to help build and change this narrative in a positive direction, what were a couple specific things you did to empower that group of people?
Empower. I feel like empower is the wrong word.
What is it? What to activate that group of people?
Activate is the right, I feel like.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think especially with influencer marketing, you have to just make sure that I think you have to make sure that you are working with the right people that like already have that fan base. You know what I mean? Especially like on Twitter and TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, I won't necessarily name specific people, but like there's definitely people that move the needle when it comes to like that type of music, and they live in that demographic and people look up to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they already like look to them for like music taste and all that. I think influencers are all curators technically.
Okay, so moving off of Boston Richie, but keeping that same sentiment. So say you're like a young artist with like a small budget that's looking to spend just a little bit of money on influencer marketing. You've established that niche that you're going to go after, and you've established some influencers that you think speak to that niche. With a little budget and not a lot of clout to leverage, how do you go about working with these influencers?
Well, I do think you have to, if you have a small budget, you got to be extra friendly. I think you got to be like, I think you got to use your resources. I think you got to reach out a lot of like cold DMs and emails and just be like, yo, I really fuck with what you do. This is what I do. I feel like your fans would really like my music. Or maybe not even do it like that, but establish relationships early that you know are going to put you in the space, right? Because if you don't have money to pay people, then you're going to need free promo at some point. And try and make it mutually beneficial as well. Like, how can you help them? You know, because somebody promoting your music for free, like, that's not necessarily worth their time. But if you can establish a relationship and make it feel like more of like a friendship, or that you're also doing something for them, like, I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. I feel like I see some artists that are really good at that with their fan bases and like with influencers around them. Like, you know, even someone like Natanya, right? Like, she's really good at Discord and like these kind of like more like niche like group chat apps. Yeah. And I feel like she builds a community, and via that community like is able to like gain, like, not gain influence necessarily, but like she has a really engaged fan base that like automatically pushes her shit. Yes. Like, she has like hella fan pages that, even though they're small, it's like, bro, like, she's a small artist and they're still tweeting about her and spreading her information and all this different type of stuff. Yeah. And I think that allows other artists to see that and other people to see that and be like, oh, whoa, there's something going on over here. You know what I mean?
I feel like people want to do that too when it doesn't feel transactional. Yeah. Like, when your relationship with fans feels transactional, I feel like they might be less inclined to make a fan page. Yeah. Or go do this whole promotion thing by themselves. But when it feels like, oh no, we're a community and I as the artist am a part of this community. Like, I'm appreciative of you guys. I see you guys. You guys are as beneficial to me as I am to you. You know what I mean? This community feeds into me as well. And I'm not just abusing it. I think that makes people want to support you way more. And then when you go to these other platforms as well and you're trying to collaborate with them and you maybe don't have a huge follower count, if you have an engaged fan base, that's going to be something that they're going to want too. Because they might follow their page, comment on their page, bring stuff to them that's going to activate their audience as well.
Exactly. You gotta, if you don't have the money, you have to spend the time. Yeah. And I think like, it's really the same thing it's always been. Like, there's a level of grassroots marketing that has to be done. It's just being done on the internet now.
Yeah, I think something I'm starting to see is like how to use social media as like a two-way street. You know what I mean? I think too often we think about social media as how can I say all the best things and post all the right stuff. But I think an easy and free way to get the attention of curators, artists that you want to work with is to engage with their content organically. You know what I mean? Like reposting shit from people that you want to work with. Not on any like benefit, but let me just post your support. Shit. Let me start dropping comments. Yeah. Let me start liking the story, showing that you're like genuinely supporting them however you can, however small. Because on our platform, if there was an artist that was always commenting on our reels and throwing some of them on their story, I'm way more inclined to want to have that person come be on the podcast or come get interviewed, because I'm like, oh, you're actually like showing interest. This isn't going to be just you're popping in and then you're out. You know what I mean? You actually like the platform and are engaging with our content. You know what I mean? And I think that's an easy way to get at some of these micro influencers that I think could really help your career by attaching yourself to it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out Osei and this plaque, man. Yeah. Teaching us every day, giving us lessons, learning, being the blueprint. We need a couple of them.
Appreciate y'all, man. I learned everything from you. You know,
we all got to get plaques, and then like that could be what's behind us. And then I think everyone would click on the podcast.
What about the fighter, bro? I never want to get rid of the fighter.
We need the fighter. Where do you guys want to go? I mean, there is an interesting conversation about who made rage music. You want to go there?
Yeah, I mean, Trippie Redd's been in the news a lot lately.
Yeah, you should maybe raise your child, like, or be around the mother of your child. I don't know. It just feels like I saw him and Coi Leray together for like 2 months. Yeah. And then she got pregnant. And now I feel like I see her by herself a lot now. But
so when Trippie does it, it's bad. But when Ant does it, he's just a dog.
I was the one that was on here criticizing Ant the most.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, one thing that Trippie Redd was in the news for, besides his baby mother, was him kind of being at the forefront of rage music.
Well, I mean, he sent out a tweet that basically was like, Trip at Night was the first full Rage album. Yeah. And I don't get enough credit for creating the sound. You know?
I would agree that he was definitely one of the creators of this sound. I saw someone tweet out that it's the producers who really created it, and I
shout
agree
out
with that.
Mwell. Shout out Mwell.
Yeah, and Will said that, and I think I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely a production thing when we talk about rage music. I think that Molly Raw, the one who works with a lot of, he works on Uzi a lot.
Yeah,
I think
and
that
Cardi.
that's who I identify as the person who really did a lot of this stuff. But Trippy as an artist is probably the one who I identify with rage the most.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, I think rage became what it was at Whole Lotta Red. Like, that was the moment when I think the rage
already
sound
existed before that. Though,
not
bro.
fully.
Spencer, we were talking about rage a ton before Whole Lotta Red. Whole Lotta Red might have been the peak of rage. That might have been the best.
No, I think that's when the sound really became its own thing, because I think it starts with cloud rap and a lot of what was going on in the early 2010s, and that morphs into Uno the Activist, Thousand Man Funny.
But that's
and
not rage.
But I think that was where we started. And then we started moving, because that was also Uzi and Cardi in that scene. You know what I mean? And they, I think, were the ones that started to like take us there, because that's not rage yet.
Yeah.
But when Cardi came out with a Whole Lotta Red, I think, like you said, the producers are a big part of it, because that's the first time that I heard a lot of those sounds, to be honest. Like Filthy on that. There's like 5 people that are all over that.
I look at that album how I look at Rodeo for trap music. Like, I think Rodeo is the greatest trap album ever.
Yeah.
Because that took a sound that already existed and made it something that was going to be like big, cinematic, digestible on the mainstream level, something that's going to get awards, all that. I think that Whole Lotta Red did that for the rage sound, but the sound already existed for Cardi to kind of pimp out. And I think he was a part of it also, obviously, like blowing up.
Why is X being left out of this conversation? He really invented it.
To me, that's not the same sound.
You don't think that's rage music?
No.
I think X was a part of rage music. I think
what
X
song
I
is
think
rage?
X,
What
I think
song?
The song.
Look at Me?
Yeah, that was the first song that I heard by him.
Then maybe we're thinking of different definitions of rage.
Or like I think of the song that he had with Space Ghost Perp. Like, just like some like, it was Denzel Curry a part of rage at all? No.
Not to me.
No.
I think of rage as super like synth heavy, kind of like glitchy production, punk inspired, like really like, to me, like Whole Lotta Red is rage music.
I hear the glitchy production, and
Yeah.
I really want to say that it was Trippy Red. Like, I even think like what he did with like on the album with Matt Hardy with Drake as a feature on.
Yeah,
it.
it's Trippy, the Trippy Night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Literally,
That's 2021, a year
Yeah.
after Whole Lotta Red.
Yeah, I think that is more what sounds like rage music to me than even Whole Lotta Red. Like, that's more like I think Whole Lotta Red was so much more rock inspired.
Okay.
Than like the rage sound. But yeah, we're in semantics. I think we all agree that it's more the production though than the artist.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that type of music either.
What?
I don't really like rage. Like, I don't like Trippy. I wasn't like, you put me on all the best Trippy Red songs.
But the Trippy songs I put you on weren't rage. I think
Oh,
Cardi
yeah.
makes a lot of rage music, bro. I think
I don't think so.
Cardi is like the rage guy.
I'm not mad at that. Maybe
And
I
you-
only like the best.
Huh?
Because I don't really like Yeet or anyone else.
Yeah, because to me, that's like the closest thing that rage is like what we call just like Cardi music. I think we could move that into like the rage category.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. You could I'll listen to you. You're the authority on rage. Yeah. Is there anything else? Anything else we want to talk about, guys? I feel like we got it all.
Do you want to talk about Q?
I mean, we can.
We
Yeah.
talked about it a little bit at the beginning. But I think Q, 10 songs. If you haven't heard it, definitely go listen to it. It's
Stream that,
one of
stream
the
that, stream
one of the
that.
best projects that come out this
For
year.
sure.
And you had a hand in working it. And I think it's starting to have a little moment. I see it getting posted on some of the curator accounts. I've heard it outside. It seems like it might be a thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about it.
I
And just like
mean-
what the experience was like making that.
I mean, working with Q is like the coolest thing in the world, just because being around someone so talented, someone who's able to like do everything themselves. Like, obviously, like it's nice to say like, oh, like I was really a part of it, but like this nigga does everything himself. You know what I mean? Like, it was really more of a situation of just making sure that he had all the support he needed to kind of get his message out that he wanted to with this.
Yeah.
I think that he's someone who's been around and has had impactful music for a while now, but people are still figuring out who he is. And I think that really a goal with everything this year is to show more of him as an actual person, because I think he's a really cool individual, but he's also someone who wants to let people know they're not alone. Let people know that he's going through a lot of things that are talked about in the zeitgeist, be it mental health, be it relationship stuff. Like, I think he just, as a writer, has a really dope perspective on things. So making sure that he has all the resources to get stuff done, make sure he has everything he needs to get the music recorded. But I'm really, really proud of this body of work, and I think it was a great way to kind of start this 2025 that's going to be filled with good music from him.
Yeah. How do you feel like you made the album better?
Made the album better. I think that when he was sending me some of the tracks early on and we were talking about it, because I think something that came from him was wanting to post kind of direct to consumer initially.
Yeah.
I'm only going to post this shit on Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, but I don't want to have this DSP thing going on at first.
Yeah.
And I think that when I came in, just giving him the confidence to be like, I see what you're doing and I love this and I love how you're building up the community with like the Do You See Me account and all that, but dog, this is better than a lot of nigga shit.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that, because what people don't understand is Q looks at these 10 songs like, obviously I love my music, I'm extremely talented, but also like, yo, like this just some shit I'm doing like on the fuck around for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to put stuff out and really connect with you guys as fans.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, yo, dog, this is incredible music. So I think just kind of putting that battery in his back a little bit that he already has as an extremely motivated person to be like, nah, like people need to hear this, people need to appreciate it, and you need to just like keep this flow going because I think you're in a really great space creatively.
Yeah.
I think that was really beneficial to him to start off this year.
Yeah. Where do you guys go from here?
More music, more projects, more consistency. I think that he's a really good example of what are your goals in this? Because I think from the outside looking into a lot of people, it's like, oh, like I have a song with over 100 million streams. Like I've done it. I've broken as an artist technically.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even for someone like him, and I think through the conversations we have, it's like, no, like he's extremely, extremely motivated to be much bigger and knows that there's a lot more work that he has to do and that we have to do as a team, you know? And it is just about constantly refining what is the goal and how good can this be and making sure that we're keeping ourselves to like this standard of music. But I think that there's going to be, a couple more drops this year, and I hope that people respond to everything. Obviously, it's 2 upcoming shows, New York and LA. Definitely pop out and see that shit if you're in either of the places. Buy tickets now. They're selling out. But yeah, I think this is going to be a big year for him. And I think you guys have heard me say it, but like niggas want a Grammy.
Yeah.
Like I think that really is the goal, and obviously it's a lofty goal, but I think it is attainable with the right attention to detail.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I hope I appreciate niggas listening to it, bro.
Yeah.
Like the fact that anyone even plays the music really it makes my day. You know, like both of you guys have been extremely supportive and just like playing that shit, and like I think that this is one of the coolest projects I've ever had the pleasure of being a part of, for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie to you, bro. I would not tell you I liked it if I didn't actually play it. You know what I mean?
Tight, bro. Nah, it is cool to see people actually resonating with songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. It feels surreal, bro, because again, like working with someone that talented is just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, more music. Hopefully niggas like it. Listen to it, stream that shit.
Yeah, 10 songs out now.
Facts. Appreciate y'all for watching, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Catch y'all next one, man. Peace.